Hey guys, we're back with another video. Me, the Simmons, here with my beautiful co-host, Chantel. Today we got a video from the great T.D. Jakes, one of the great ministers of our time. He is addressing something that is a little bit controversial, and it didn't actually go over too well. He is addressing the fact that a lot of ladies think that they can tell men how to be fathers, and it should be very interesting. So here we go.
I know this is going to get me on TikTok for sure, but here I go. If another woman tells me how to be a father, I will open my mouth and flat out scream. You can no more tell me how to be a father than I can tell you how to birth a baby. I don't know nothing about birthing a baby. I don't know nothing about nursing a child. You have to know what you don't know. Shut up being the teacher and just be the wife. How do you know how to be a father? Not only are you not a father, most of you didn't even have a father, and yet you're an expert on how to be.
Ooh. T.D. Jakes done had enough. T.D. Jakes been on a tear lately. He has had enough of these women. Well, the thing, like T.D. Jakes made so much money off of telling women what they want to hear, writing all these books. I don't know if it's his old age, he's sick of them, or he's just saying how he really feels. I don't know. What you think?
I'm here for it.
Either way, I'm here for it. But he absolutely is right. I think so. I think he's right. There's so, there's a lot of layers to this thing, especially in the black community. He's black, we're black. Let's talk about black people. In our black community, it's like mom it's like God did mama, right? Mm-hmm. She has all the answers. She knows everything. She can tell you. She can walk around the house, tell everybody who's wrong, who's right, who did this, who did that. Nobody can question her. And that spills over a lot of times, I think, into when it comes to raising kids. I've seen it. Yeah. A lot of times when couples will come to us and they're having issues with parenting, it's because she doesn't agree with the way the father's raising the kids, or the father disciplines, or the father shows love, or whatever. Who made you the authority on raising these kids? We're not the same. Men and women are not the same. We show love differently. We approach things differently. We think differently. So who made you the final governing authority on how I should be as a father? I think he's right. What do you think?
I agree. I think, how many times have we had to have that same conversation with couples that we're coaching, or even in just conversation with, that as the woman, because it's your way, you assume that it's the right way. And it's not fair for you to be able to kind of lay out what the standards are, and you should be a real man, and this is how it should look. When, like he said, a lot of times these women didn't even have any daddies in their life.
Yeah, it's just what you think, or how you feel in that moment. And even with us, as we were raising our kids, we have three, two grown sons and a teenage daughter. As we were raising the boys, a lot of times, I would do something, and she'd be like, well, I don't think. And I'm like, look, I'm raising men. You don't understand what they're going to go through. They're going to have a different experience in life than you had as a teenage girl. As young black men, they're going to have a whole different experience. Not saying that I was always right, but I'm saying I have a better idea of what they're going to be up against. And so the truth is, you got to raise warriors. You have to raise warriors in this world. You cannot raise. It's too many boys out here still in the teat. Yeah, it's too many of them, and a lot of them are raised by women. And it's a sad commentary, but it's the truth. And so, but I will say this though, men, my wife was amazing at giving me insight on certain things. Yeah. When it came to raising our kids, it didn't mean she had zero input on raising our boys. It meant that the primary disciplinary and the primary responsibility fell to me as their father. But she had great insight. Sometimes when I would be too hard, or sometimes where I needed to, sometimes even be harder on them. She'd be like, well, she would have insight into that. And I would listen to her because she has great insight. She has a great track record. Even with our daughter, sometimes I'm like, hey, you need to get on her a bit more. Or or I'll say, hey, just let it be. You're being too much. So we bounce it off of each other, but it seems like a one-sided way of looking at things, and it has to be from a feminine aspect. That's not true. Even when it comes down to emotions, it's like if you don't show emotions like a woman as a man, then you're emotionless. That's not me. I'm not that kind of guy. Some men are very emotional. I'm just not the type of guy. Immediately my mind goes into problem solving mode. If I got a phone call right now that somebody I knew has passed away, I'm probably not going to break down and curl up in a ball in the middle of the floor. That's just not how I work.
Right. But doesn't mean
You
you're
know
not
what I mean?
grieving.
Doesn't mean I'm not grieving though.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of discussion around that, and I think T.D. Jakes is getting to some things here that are gonna make him unpopular. But the man's made millions. I mean, he ain't worried about it. he pretty much just speaking his mind in his old age. So, how do you feel about? From a female standpoint, like what he said and how he said it, how do you think that's going to come across to the average female?
To the masculine woman, she's going to be pissed off. Yeah, the masculine woman is going to be offended because to a masculine woman, she has every right to say what she's saying because she's a whole dude. So to a masculine woman, yeah, she's gonna be offended and she's gonna go in the comments and, well, you don't know everything.
Already, yeah,
you don't know everything, and you can't tell me I ain't got input, and you can't tell me I don't add value, and you can't. So the masculine woman is going to be offended. The feminine woman is gonna be like, you darn tootin', I don't know what it means to be a man. And I told you that, I don't know how long ago. I remember there was one time I was coming down kind of hard on our oldest son. And you're like, look, you need to lay off of him because the last thing we want is for him to be intimidated or even allow a woman to shut him down. And I didn't even see it from that perspective, but I was like, you are so right. And then you were like, basically, hey, turn him over to me now. We're at the age.
He was at the age.
He's at the age
9, I think. 8,
yeah,
9.
he's at the age now where he needs to be going under daddy school, and he needs to know what it means to be a man. But this is the point I want to make. You, as a couple, it is so imperative that you're working on your couple relationship, because that couple relationship spills over into your parenting relationship with your children. The reason I'm saying that is because had I not had the mutual trust and respect for you, if I didn't trust you and didn't have the amount of respect I had for you, I would have bypassed completely what you were saying, and I would have just went on in and did what I was going to do, and that would have caused dissension between our married relationship, and also it would have been like two different ways of parenting, and we see that all the time.
Yes,
so your couple relationship is definitely a priority because you have to make sure that you guys are a united front. How many couples do we coach? How many couples do we go out to dinner with? How many couples are we related to that you know they're on two separate pages, and you see
it's
it?
Obvious. It's
and
obvious.
Kids are huge manipulators. They are going to sniff out the dissension. They're going to sniff out that you guys are not on the same page.
Path of least resistance.
Yeah, and they're going to be like, oh, I know from daddy I can get this, and from mama I can get this.
Yep.
It's just what it is.
So I thought this was a great video.
Very good.
I really,
Go ahead, Bishop. Speak your mind.
That, I hope that T.D. Jakes is off that pandering bandwagon that he's ridden for years, and he understands that we're in trouble. I think he understands that we're in a lot of trouble. But I think early on he was very much a part of that whole pandering movement. It was telling these people what they want to hear, these women especially what they want to hear. And now in his older age, he's like, oh shoot, he's trying to course correct, and I respect that. With that, that's enough said.